Good morning, guys. How you all doing? Yes, guys. In today's video, I want to talk about what Arabs think about we Africans housemaid. Yeah, ever since I got here, I noticed that these people were having a lot of curiosity about me, generally because I'm not a white lady. Yes, I'm in Nigeria, I'm a black girl. So later on, I figure out that they have this different mentality and good morning, sir, about us. And when I ask, because when it gets to a particular moment, I realize that I should ask these people why are they doing this? What do they think about me, be a black girl? And this is the question I asked then, and the answer I got struck me a lot. First, I was told that be a black person, they believe that we are the most wretched person on earth. Yeah, that is, we are people who live in a jungle, in a field whereby there's no good houses. We are living in a hut. Yeah, and it's very difficult for us to see water or food to survive. So with that mentality of them, they believe that you coming into their houses, you are going to finish their food. Is that not funny? Yes, it's very funny to me. The day I heard about it, I laughed a lot, because why are they thinking like that? Yeah, you had yet to finish their food. So because I realized that some ladies were talking about their bosses, the family they are working, they complain about how they eat. My sister, don't be offended. The truth is that their thoughts and mentality is that we are there to consume their food, finish everything. So that's why some people, and some of them are stingy with food. In the house I'm working, they are very good people to me. Yeah, so they said I'm kind of different from what they have in mind, that they believe that I will be finishing their food. And let me tell you this short story about myself. The day I stepped here, I was so famished because I'm on, like, let's say, white fasting. And it's not that I was putting the fast, it's because I couldn't eat in when I was in the office. I was only taking Gary. If you have watched my story, when my short story about coming to Oman. So that day when I got here, I have no stamina in me because I have not taken anything, and it's almost 1:30. I haven't have anything a day, not of Gary, because I didn't expect it. I was trying to make my breakfast when they called me that we are going to the office from the department that I was lodged. So getting there, I was asked to clean the office and arrange some stuff. And after doing that, my boss arrived and took me from there. And you know, being with a man, you can't be saying person you don't know anything about. You can't be, I haven't eaten, I haven't that. So I just have to be calm. And when I got there, I noticed that everybody welcomed me so good. And after 30 minutes, I can't come and keep myself because I can't endure that hunger. So I have to open up that, can I get something to eat? That was my first conversation in this house. Can I get something? I could remember, and she was like, what? I said, because I can't withstand it again. Then they rushed to give me some fruits. I had some fruit. I think I feel better. And so and I start working with them. So the day they told me that, they thought we Africans, maybe that's my first impression, brought that idea that this one is going to finish our food. So they said their imagination about me is quite different from the way I'm built, that because I'm very straight and straightforward when it comes to what I eat and how I'm eating, my eating routine. I never change from it. And they were shocked that she's living a dietary life, that, but how come come. So they were so shocked, and that is what they have in mind about we black people, that we eat a lot, that they believe that we are that gluten. So that doesn't surprise me no more. And also their thought was that there's no good houses in our country. They believe that we are all living in bushes. And they used to ask a lot of questions. Do you have TV in your country? Do you have laptops and all that? Because a lot of them thought there's no technologies in our country, that we don't have technology development and all that, which makes them to ask funny questions about our countries. And whenever I just sat down, I'm alone, I will just be laughing that because we are into this work, even most of them are illiterate, but some of them, they will portray themselves as if they are more educative than you because you are working. And their thought was that we lack education, even though we do, some of us, we are speaking English. They believe that English is part of our language. Yes, because most of Africans, we are bilingual, and some of Africans, we are multilinguals. So they believe that it's just their language, not that they are that learned. And so that is that not funny? Because whenever they ask me, what's your leadership system and that, yeah, our leadership system is different. Because in Oman, let's say generally in our country, the leadership system is majesty. They use kingship method, while we Africans, we mostly practice democratic system. So they used to ask so many funny questions like that. Is there car? How do you come to our country? Is it by bus? Is it by car? Yeah, this most of these questions, they are asked by people around me, and I'll be like, hey, I'm not that local. It's not that how bad Africans were, their imagination about us. So once you get into their houses, and some of them will be like, you don't touch this applications, don't touch this equipment, because I don't think you have it in your houses. Yeah, some people will talk to you like that, believing you can't operate an engine. And sometimes if you now operate something, okay, so there's a day I operated something the people just brought into the house, and they were all shocked. Yeah. And some of them were like, how do you do that? How come? And this, some of them thought that they know nothing, maybe now only firewood they use cook for our house. Me, even if now only firewood that they use cook, I think I get this brain and I can read, so I'll just go through manual. You can ask smarter than them, but just read the manual and know what is right to do. So they thought that we are that illiterate, you are that person that not explosive, that we lack exposure. Yeah, that is the word, exposure, that is far from us, we Africa, that they are not exposed. Unless they come outside the country, then there will be no one of those things. Yeah, so don't be surprised when they're asking you so many questions, because a lot of ladies, you're telling me that can you imagine they are asking me this? You are not the only one. Yeah, you are not the only one. A lot of them as well. Whenever I go out, I meet new people, they have series of questions from me or your country. They were always curious about my country. So whenever I say the good side of my country, what is there, how we live, they were all amazed that they never imagined that about Africans. So to my all fellow African shagalas in any Arab country, wherever you find yourself, portray a good manner. Even though they are blackmailing or they have negative mentality about your country due to the past or your fellow Africans that have spoiled the name of your country in that same country, but that doesn't mean you should be portraying that same bad name. No, let's change that mentalities that these people have about we Africans, most especially in Arab Gulf country. There are a lot of countries that have been stopping Africans coming into their country because of wayward, bad manners that some people have already tarnished the image of our country. As in Nigeria, I'm a proudly Nigeria, and I remain in Nigeria because that is my destination, is my origin, that is where I came out, and that is where I will be going back. No matter how good or how beautiful the journey is, one day you will still go back to that home, that your country. But what is the most important thing to do is that portray a good name. Even if you portraying a good name is not only for yourself, it's for you, it's for your family, it's for your unborn generation, and it's for your country generally, and for the from the state that you came from. You are announcing that to people. Yes, ever since I told them a lot of things about my country, they have different knowledge and different perspective, and they were like, we don't know. Yes, that if you don't talk, and if you don't, you know, you don't have to talk sometimes, but your behaviors, how you do things and how you carry things along will change a lot of thinking about people, about you. That what I have in mind about this girl is different, but what she's doing and all that, yeah, that is why they say actions speaking louder than voices. Yeah, so please and please, let's stop that bad attitude. And it's very annoying. Recently, Dubai, now they banned the entry of Nigeria to their country because of what? Those people that are not well cultured. I'm sorry to use that word, that they are not well cultured, because if they are, how could you leave your country, Nigeria, and be practicing cultism in another people's country? Or how will you get to a country and you turn yourself to a blockade for other people's sources? Please, let's stop this attitude and promote good name for our country, Nigeria. God bless you all. I remain Gladys. Bye.